All right, welcome back. Now we are moving on to English language arts. I will be able to connect my inferences to details from a text. Now, what do you suppose inferences mean? We have talked a lot about inferences in the past, um, and what inferences are kind of like your guess, almost kind of based on a feeling. Okay, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Okay, we are still talking about exploring my community, the introduction. As the sun rises, my little city begins to wake. The 13,679 residents as of 2013 start their day. Downtown construction workers repair an old building. Meanwhile, off the coast, fishermen catch shrimp. All around St. Augustine, Florida, restaurant and hotel workers welcome tourists and other visitors. So I underlined the words workers and visitors, and I circled the ER and the OR of the words. These are called suffixes. Everybody say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Suffixes. The base words are work and visit. Suffixes mean one who does something. By understanding these suffixes, you can determine that the word worker means someone who works. We can determine that a visitor means someone who visits. So you take that base word and you put it after someone who, and that's what it is. So what is the base word in farmer? Farmer. Well, this is our suffix. It's going to be our ER. So the base word is going to be farm. Our suffix is ER. The meaning is someone who, and then I go back to that base word, farms. Easy enough, right? A director. Our base word is direct. Our suffix is OR. And our meaning is someone who directs. Once again, super simple, super easy. These suffixes this is one of your easiest tasks today. So now I have all of these and I'm going to review them with you. We don't need a time here. So once again, base word for counselor. Counselor would be counsel. Our suffix, OR. Our meaning, someone who counsels. Painter. Our base word is paint. Our suffix is ER. Painter is someone who paints. Okay, so now that I've given you guys lots and lots of practice, you guys will finish up this slide and also do the slide after it. This one. These are actually all of your spelling words for the week. We have actors, bakers, owners, painters, players, sculptor, vendor, and visitors. So that's it when it comes to our language lesson about how words are built, and that is your spelling lesson. So now we're going to talk about A New Life in Vermont. That is our new story that's in the same book in Communities Then and Now workbook. It's on page 6. So before, and you know what, I'm actually going to flip through it with you. I'm going to go to a new tab. I'm going to go to clever.com. I'm going to log in. I'm going to go to our classroom. I'm going to click on benchmark. So many steps just to get to our reading. I'm so sorry. So much easier if you had the workbook, right? Okay. benchmark. You will have to go here to benchmark advance, grade 3, unit 7. Okay. And I'm going to pause the video because mine, it just looks a little bit different. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so after you click on the book, this is where you should end up. Right here, communities then and now. And then this is how you turn the pages. And we want to go all the way over to page 6. All right. A New Life in Vermont. An excerpt from How Tia Lola Came to Visit, Stay, by Julia Alvarez. So we're not reading, we're just looking. I'm seeing a picture. It looks like it's a drawn picture instead of a real picture. I'm going to turn the page. That's another drawn picture. It looks like a house. It doesn't look very happy. And that's it. We're only going from page 6 to page 9. And now that we've looked over it, you can now do these slides. What do you predict that this will be about? I predict this text will be about Then, does it look similar or different to Exploring My Communities? Why? Well, let me look back at Exploring My Communities. These pictures look like they were taken with a camera, where the other ones look like they might have been hand-drawn. Interesting. So you could put some similarities and differences here. This text looks similar because this text looks different because And then the last question, what do you think is the genre of this text? Does it look real, not real, fiction, not fiction, fantasy, folktale, fairy tale? We've gone over a lot of different genres. Is it a drama? And so you're going to put, I think the genre of the text is okay, for those slides. When reading, because now we're going to read the text, after you've made your predictions, when reading, identify and annotate key events Miguel and his family experience in their new community. So that's your clue. This is what you're going to be looking for as you're reading the text. What key events, not details, Miguel and his family experience in their new community. And so this is important. Okay, so sometimes the order in which events are told in a story is not necessarily the order in which the events in the story happened. So that's confusing, right? And what happens in this story are memories. So sometimes when you're watching a movie or reading a story, they'll go, and then we know that it's happening in the past, or they'll do a different, like a color on the screen or something like that, that lets you know that this isn't the next thing to happen. This is 3 weeks before or an hour before or something like that. When you're reading, this happens too, because authors like doing that in stories as well as movies and television shows. So look for clues that help you figure out which events are occurring in the present for what's happening to Miguel right then and there, and what happened in the past. You need to be able to distinguish between the events and the detailed description of the events in order to summarize, right? Because when we do our somebody wanted but so then, it's hard if you're talking about what the character wants and then but what happened actually happened in the past. So keep the events in the order that they happened, not in the event that they tell you in the book. Now that I've made you incredibly confused, we will move on. So there are 5 key events, 5 important things that happen to Miguel and his family in this story. The order in which you put the events here are the order that they happened to Miguel. not the order that they're in the book. Oh my goodness. So if you guys need to pause and really think about this, then do that. What I would do is I go through the text. I'm going to underline my key events as I read them. And then I'm going to try and order the events in the order that they happen to Miguel. Okay. So that way, when I write my summary, my somebody wanted, but so then, it makes a little bit more sense because it's actually what happened throughout Miguel's time. Okay. So sometimes an author will clearly state what a character is thinking in his story. Other times, authors will give clues about a character's feelings and how the reader and allow the reader to fill in the gaps. So this is where we're talking about inferences. And so since we're moving on from you should be reading the text first before we start making inferences, I'm going to pause the video here. And I will see you on the next slide as we start making inferences about the text. Please read the text first, do the annotating key events, and do the summary before moving on. Okay, so I will see you on the next slide.